What's going on? Jermaine Dominique in here on Fire Television. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. This was the photo yesterday, and I'm glad to see it. We're going to get all into it just in a minute. So, thank you for joining me. As I said, here on the program, we discuss the biggest political and trending news stories of the day. Today's going to be a trending news story program, with interviews and reporting from across this country, emanating from our studios in Baltimore and Atlanta. Show is fun, show is upbeat, but I also want to expose what's really going on in this country. On Fire Television, Black Voices giving you the American story. New episodes drop Monday through Friday, 8 a.m., but I don't want you to miss any of our live broadcasts. In addition to the 8 a.m. program, we drop content throughout the day as news happens. Hit that notification bell so you get an alert whenever we go live. Follow the Diamond K Show on our Facebook page. Click that icon bell, as I said. Whenever we go live, you get that notification. Also, the Diamond K Show, very excited about our partnership with WRF Radio. Take a moment to download the WRF Radio app in your app store. Leave me a comment. You can scroll your timeline, attend a Zoom meeting on mute, do some online shopping, all while listening to the Diamond K Show. So, as I hinted to, Kanye West and Drake have reconciled. I mean, this beef has been going back and forth for several years. And I always talk about the fact that Kanye West, Ye, directed Drake's first video, Best I Ever Had. Now, yes, the video was had nothing to do with the song, but it was a milestone for the Canadian rapper, working with somebody like Kanye West, especially at that time in his career. So I always thought that this relationship, which started in such a genuine place, would find its way back. And Kanye has been on a bit of a resurgence, right? The Drink Champs interview, the two-part interview, I'm assuming that's two-part interview that Revolt TV and Nori and FN and all the team over there posted, has really done a lot for Kanye with regards to the hip hop community. So this latest chapter, Kanye and Drake beef, has come to an end. I hope that they stay cool. I hate to see hip hop artists feuding. I do. I mean, we got so much to deal with, and arguing with each other over what, I don't even know. It sends a bad message. I'm really glad that this has happened, and I'm glad that we get to see, well, some of it. So both rappers took to IG yesterday announcing this reconciliation. Ye posted this picture, and if a picture's worth 1,000 words, at least they're standing together. Now, if any of you have, I'm sure that you have had a beef with somebody and then reconciled, especially if you were friends first, it takes time to rebuild everything, right? But this was to send a message to let them know that people know that things were cool. And are they going to be where they were before? Maybe, maybe not. But this is the step on the road. You can see Jay Prince in the photo, Kanye, and of course Drake. This was at Drake's house. Drake had a big shindig at his house. The certified Lover Boys Toronto mansion. Also, a video was posted from there where Dave Chappelle was speaking about the two artists, putting their differences aside. Make some noise for Kanye and Drake. Make some noise for our reconciliation. Chappelle can be heard saying in a clip that Ye posted to his IG stories, and Ye doesn't even use IG stories like that. Right, so that was cool. And there's another video of Dave Chappelle talking, ending the beef. Jay Prince spoke about the meeting on social media. It sounded like he was announcing that the two rappers would be performing next month at a free Larry Hoover concert. So Jay Prince posted the same photo that we see here, and he said, "What a beautiful night I had last night in Canada. Let's make history December the 9th, free Larry Hoover concert," he wrote. Wow, that is big. That is big. Of course, Larry Hoover is a you know legendary Chicago figure, and he has been in jail for longer than I've been alive. And there's been this outpour of love. They're trying to get him free, and hopefully that happens. So we're going to definitely keep posted on that. So Jay Prince shared a video of Kanye extending an olive branch to Drake last week. I guess in the form of a concert request, the same one, after saying that it's time that he and Drake put their ongoing back and forth to rest. Kanye asked Drake to join forces to help try to free Larry Hoover. Kanye said this: "I'm asking Drake on December 7th to join me on stage as a special guest to share the two biggest albums of the year live in Los Angeles, with the ultimate purpose being to free Larry Hoover." Ye said at the time, "I believe this event will not only bring awareness to our cause, but prove to people everywhere how much more we can accomplish when we lay our pride to the side and come together." Glad to see that. Glad to hear that. You know, Kanye talked a little bit about where the bipolar diagnosis comes from. I almost felt like he was alluding to the fact that he wasn't bipolar, and maybe it was some kind of quack diagnosis. That's what I took from it. But whether or not Kanye is quote unquote crazy, some of his latest media appearances, can we say that? Don't sound that crazy. Don't sound that crazy. Is Kanye crazy? I don't know. I don't know. It's up in the air. It's up in the air. But regardless of that, he is an excellent entertainer and artist, a visionary, a designer, a lot of things, business person. He's doing it. And one thing is definitely for sure, he knows how to stay in the conversation. So in light of them settling their issues, you know, the history around Drake and Kanye's relationship is very complicated. It's very complicated. It has taken place a lot over social media. There have been, I don't know, back and forths in songs. They used to share a manager way back in the day, Cortez Bryant. Well, this is back in 2008. Bryant also managed Lil Wayne. He was the bridge to the deal that Drake got at Young Money. Now, of course, I'm talking about back in the day. But there was a lot of lawsuits. There was a lot of things going on. Bryant's business partner at the time was G. Robertson, who was managing Kanye. That's really the first real link between Drake and Ye. So their first meeting, back in, I don't know, late 2008, early 2009. So interaction, according to Drake, was very short because of location and the timeline. It's possible that the meeting was during the 808s and Heartbreak sessions, which happened in Honolulu during the fall of 2008. So that's how far back these two go. And as I said, they have had an up and down relationship. The best I ever had video was released 2009, summer of 2009. Drake was excited. It was a big record for him, and Kanye was behind the camera for once. If you remember, this is that basketball themed video. And it was I don't it was rightfully slammed by fans and critics. It wasn't the best video. I mean, yeah, the girls look nice. It had nothing to do with the song at all. You know, you hear a song and you envision, oh, this is how the video should look. The song laid out what should have happened, but Kanye took it somewhere completely different. But it is it's interesting. Let's go to, you remember the record "Find Your Love" by Drake, came out in 2010, spring 2010. That track was co-written and co-produced by Kanye. Not sure if a lot of people know that. So, depending on who you believe, it's either a leftover from the 808s and Heartbreak sessions or originally intended for Rihanna. I mean, I could see Rihanna doing that song. I could, I could. But strangely, Kanye saw this as a tipping point in their relationship. Kanye said that I was fine with writing Find Your Love with Drake on his first thing until he got too big. Until he got too big. Of course, that was a big record. And, the following summer, there was a leak of a song that would become All of the Lights with a Drake verse in the beginning. And at the time, the song was called Ghetto University. Yeah. But when the final version came out in the fall, Drake's verse was nowhere to be found. And Drake said he was completely fine with the change that happened in that song at the time. Now, I think that another tipping point, if not the biggest tipping point, that fall, Drake was seen out with Kanye's ex, Amber Rose. And this is 2010. Rumors started swirling that Amber Rose and Drake were an item. I'm sure that Kanye felt a certain kind of way about that. And this is a reoccurring theme in the life of Drake, something that we have seen him do. 2011, things really started to become public, my opinion. There was an interview in January of 2011. Tim Westwood, Drake said that he and Lil Wayne were working on a joint album. And then he threw some not so subliminal jabs at another pair of top tier rappers who were also recording a joint album. Who was he talking about? He said, "We still got to do that album." Drake said at the time, talking about the Weezy collab, "I heard some other guys are coming out with an album too. There's two other rappers that are coming out with an album together. I don't know where they got that idea." Of course, referring to Watch the Throne, Jay-Z, and Kanye. Now, I mean, was that a diss? It's definitely, it's definitely a jab. It's definitely a jab. Did Kanye get the idea for the album Watch the Throne, that collab? Did that come from something that Drake had talked about behind the scenes about him and Wayne? It's possible. It's possible. October of the same year, 2011, my goal is to surpass everything he's accomplished. This was in a cover story with The Source. Drake talked openly about being compared to Kanye. He said this at the time. It's an honor. When I was a kid trying to figure out what I liked, it was Ye who I related to the most. He was an artist in every sense, from his cover art to his music. Now I would say he's really great competitor and friend. At the same time, my goal is to surpass everything he's accomplished. I don't want to be as good as Kanye. I want to be better. I don't think that that's a diss. I don't think that that's a diss. I think that he's motivated by Kanye and their collaborations, their friendships, their conversations, sharing of music, going to studio together. All these things motivated him. I didn't take that as a diss, but there's been a lot of things. There has been a lot of things, and their verses that you could point to. In the summer of 2013, Kanye was at the OVO Fest. Drake brought out a lot of surprise guests for that 2013 festival. One that really stood out, of course, Kanye. Not only did Kanye perform, but he also admitted that Drake's dominance in the rap game was what inspired Watch the Throne. Me and Hove would have never made Watch the Throne if this nigga wasn't putting pressure on us like that. So I just want to pay my respects, Kanye told the audience. Drake would go on to call that night the most important moment of my career. So when you look at that, someone that he idolized, someone that he looked up to, talking about Drake, and obviously he felt that Watch the Throne was something that, I don't know, was birthed to him, some kind of way connected to him. To have Kanye come in his hometown, Drake's hometown, and say those words, it had to be satisfying for Drake. Said that this was the most important moment of my career. 2013. So a few weeks later, Drake talked to Billboard about this relationship with Kanye. And it had been strained back and forth, a lot of back and forth. A lot of back and forth. And people close to West, Pusha T, others. Drake said at the time to Billboard, me and Ye just fell into this thing where we hadn't actually talked to each other in so long that all this stuff got built up. Sometimes you just have to find the opportunity to tell someone that you really like and respect them. After that, everything can move forward. Hopefully, we give the world what they want, because I know they want it. I know me and Ye could do some crazy shit together. That's what Drake said at the time. And it's true. Why are we talking about this? We're talking about this because this photo posted by Jay Prince, music legend, Ye, at Drake's Toronto mansion. So I decided to talk a little bit about the history, the complicated history of these two artists, their road. So we do this, take a quick break, come back with more of the Diamond K Show after this. And we are back. The Diamond K Show is sponsored in part by Tasty Moscato. If you could pour sexy into a glass, this would be it. This smooth, seductive Moscato wine blended with vanilla takes your palate to a whole nother level of taste me. Unlike most, Tasty Moscato can be deliciously paired with a variety of meats, cheeses, veggies, as well as desserts. It's the sweet taste of luxury that you've been craving. It is Tasty Moscato. They were out of stock and they are back for the holidays. You can search them on social media, Tasty Moscato. That is TASTETEE. Tasty Moscato. So we're talking about Kanye West. We're talking about Drake. And, there was this interview. There was an interview that Drake did in Rolling Stone, 2014. He got some backlash after this quote dissing Kanye, "I'm in it," right? There was some real questionable bars there, right? And it is Drake, immediately claimed that he never said it. Elsewhere in the same interview, he chalked up the tension over the Throne project to a lack of communication paired with natural competitiveness, talking about Jay and Ye. But those two are gods to me, he said at the time. So Kanye responds to this during a concert in Newark, New Jersey. Kanye attempted to dial down the controversy. They always be trying to pit niggas against each other, and it ain't going down no more, Kanye said at the time. So tonight, it ain't none of that. We love Drake. We love every motherfucker that put their heart into this motherfucking music. I like that. Now, yes, the media, you often hear people talk about the media this, the media that. Now, does the media do everything? No. Does the media do some of this? Yes. And I can't think of a better example of the media putting a battery in folks' back than the East-West rivalry of the 90s. Now, competition exists. Rivalries exist. People have issues and problems. But sometimes the media can amp it up. Sometimes they can amp it up, and when you have other parties involved that don't have as much to lose, things can get physical and violent. Could the media have toned down the death row, bad boy, East Coast, West Coast thing? They could have, but it wasn't in their interest, the media's interest, to do that. So every time we have an artist or sets of artists with problems and public issues and back and forth and that, I think back to that time. Can this get to that point? It always can get to that point. Because we're talking about egos and pride. And in the age of social media, these things can be amped up quickly, but they also can be dialed down quickly. So back in the 90s, it would have taken, a month before a lot of people even knew about this. Now, in the times of the internet, we find out same day, next day, that these two rap legends have squashed things. And I'm glad to hear that. Glad to hear that. You remember the song Blessings? Big Sean's Blessings came out 2015, featured Drake and Kanye on their first collaboration in some time. Glad to see that. A couple weeks later, after that record came out, Drake brought Kanye on stage in New York City's Urban Plaza. Ye gave Drizzy a pair of Yeezy boots. Drake returned the favor by calling Kanye a mentor before covering two of his songs. Week after that, on the Breakfast Club, Kanye said that he and Drake were going to do an album together. It might happen, but he's probably going to be mad that I mentioned it on your show. Kanye said in a very memorable interview on the Breakfast Club. So, things seemed like they were in a good place. It's 2015. That summer, there was the OVO Fest, part two, because Kanye returned 2 years after, prompting lots of they've come full circle vibes. Everything seemed like it was fine. Now, it took a few months, but December 2015, Kanye dropped the Nike dissing facts with the line, if Nike ain't have Drizzy, they wouldn't have nothing. Backhanded compliment. I don't think it's a diss to Drake per se, but it's definitely a diss to Nike. And Nike being such a big partner of Drake, not sure how he took that. 2016, there was the summer 16 freestyle, which I love, by Drake. But he bragged about having a bigger pool than Kanye. Kanye's response to that, I have 3 pools. So these two definitely, I mean, hip hop is competitive. Hip hop is competitive. Erykah Badu said that artists are sensitive about our stuff, right? Artists are sensitive about our stuff. I've had back and forth with artists. I've had competition with artists. I remember in my formative years of making music, Baltimore club music, so you hear artists that are in your genre, that are in your lane, and that inspires you to make songs. I remember Unruly Records dropping songs, Griffin Boo Man dropping songs, Rod Lee dropping songs, DJ Techniques dropping songs. And at the time, it inspired me. Oh, they got that. I got to come with something harder than that. And then I'm dropping songs back and forth. DJ Patrick and other artists in Baltimore's golden era of club music. And, you would hear records. Sometimes you may hear something that you think they talking about you. So you go in the studio and you make something else, and it goes back and forth. So I definitely understand the pride factor. You have a song that's hot, you're in the club and you're watching reactions to it, and then a new song comes, and then they get more excited about that record. That kind of stuff can it can mess with you. So Kanye and Drake have been going at this thing for quite some time. Back and forth. You remember 2016, the pop style? Drake had a single version of Pop Style, which was on iTunes. It featured Kanye and Jay-Z. However, both of their contributions are gone when the final version surfaced later that month. Drake sat down with OVO Sound Radio and revealed that he and Kanye were supposed to do a mixtape together. When talking about how the two are neighbors, he said that Ye is one of my favorite people, period, in the world, man. I love Ye. I grew up with him as a role model. He is part of the reason I am here right now. He also said that he liked to pull up at Kanye's house and see what he's doing. So like I said, the relationship has been complicated. The relationship has been complicated. 2016 summer, the OVO Fest Part 3, Kanye appeared yet again at OVO Fest, but this time he pretty directly teased a joint album. Are you ready for this album? Now, I'm not talking about Pablo. I wasn't talking about Views. I want to ask y'all right now, y'all ready for this album? Do you know how amazing that album would be? I think people want to see that. I think people definitely want to see that. An album from Kanye and Drake after all this back and forth, after all this controversy, after all this stuff. These two artists make great music. So an album would be a no-brainer. Just tuning in. Why am I talking about this? I'm talking about this because of the photo that surfaced yesterday via Kanye West, via Jay Prince, which signals the latest chapter. Hopefully, this is uh, the last time we have to talk about them reconciling. But you never know. I mean, things happen. People is up and down. And when you talk about up and down, the relationship between these two artists has been up and down. Has been up and down. There was a billboard, a mysterious billboard that showed up at the OVO or showed up featuring the OVO and the Good Music logos. This set off even more speculation that a duo project was on the way back in 2016. Calabasas is the new Abu Dhabi, it said. Yep. And then literally the next day, Kanye plays Pop Style during a concert and says again, y'all ready for this album? We didn't get an album though. We didn't get an album. But things really took a turn around this time. Things really took a turn. So November 2016, Drake posted a photo of to IG of himself and Kanye with the caption, "There goes the neighborhood." Normally, this would only be a slightly big deal. However, Kanye's manager, Scooter Braun, commented at the time and says, "It begins. This is enough." Of course, to drive even more theories that an album was just around the corner. Few weeks later, there was that infamous Kanye rant during the St. Pablo tour, the quickly aborted St. Pablo tour. You remember that? Kanye was on stage just talking crazy. It was a long rant on stage. He had, given his opinion about Jay-Z's hitmen trying to kill him and Beyonce's VMA diva moves. And he talked about DJ Khaled setting up his Drake collaboration for free with the radio and essentially accused Khaled of payola. It was a lot. People were talking about Kanye having a mental breakdown. This is 2016. Drake didn't respond for a while, but he eventually talked about Kanye's rant. February. So a few months later. Drake said at the time, "I'm not really sure what he's referring to half the time." Because in the same breath, I went from being like working on a project with him to him sort of publicly shitting on me and DJ Khaled for being on the radio too much. I'm not sure why we're the target of the choice you made that night. And yeah, I accept what you're going through, and I just go and continue working on my own thing. I feel that came from an honest place. I don't think that he was trying to be grimy or anything like that. But that's where things stood in 2017. And, it continued and things got worse. They got a lot worse. And we're going to talk about that right after this. The Diamond K Show. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is the Diamond K Show here on Fire Television. I want to talk directly to my ladies out there. If you are looking for those must-have beauty products, look no further. JStoverBeauty.com has quality wigs, Indian hair extensions, virgin hair extensions, professional hair care products, edge control, flat iron mist, mink eyelashes, satin wig bags, wax sticks, lace concealer, lace tint, and so much more. JStoverBeauty.com also does custom wig making, maintenance, and revamp services. You can check them out on social media. J Stover Beauty on Instagram, J Stover Beauty LLC on Facebook. Be a girl with mind, a woman with attitude, and a lady with class. Visit jstoverbeauty.com. So we're back here on the Diamond K Show, of course, on Fire Television, and we are talking about Kanye West and Ye and this long-running beef. So Drake has had a pretty extensive feud with Pusha T. And in May of 2018, it reignited. Pusha T dropped Infrared, but it was Drake's response that got Kanye involved. So in Drake's Duppy freestyle, he clapped back at Pusha T's ghostwriting accusations by pointing out that he wrote for Pusha's label boss, Kanye West, and that really got some things rolling. In that track, Drake also took shots at Kanye's, um, I guess mixed feelings over the guy that worked at Louis Vuitton at the time. And, you know, some of these fashion references kind of go over my head when they talk about that. But that's something that's very important to Kanye, obviously, and he takes those things seriously. So there was some back and forth. 2018 was it was very interesting. It was very interesting. So May of 2018 on Hot 97's morning show, Ebro claimed that Kanye was originally supposed to appear on Drake's song Nice for What. Supposedly, Kanye was going to have a verse there, or there's a version of Nice for What with Kanye on it. I could see Kanye on that record. That would have been a good, that really, the song is great already, but that would have just been, it would have took it to the moon. That evening, Pusha T released the infamous The Story of Adidon, which is the answer to the Duppy freestyle. In that, Pusha T dropped the bomb that Drake had a son. 2018. You remember this time. And, Drake was, I guess, up against the wall at this point. So you have this revelation. Drake's got this image and he's been hiding a son. What was going on? 2018. I remember this time very clearly. All we were talking about at Radio and Fire on that time was that freestyle. I mean, that freestyle, that song that Pusha T dropped, we were talking about that like it was napalm. Like that was ether. That was the talk at the time. Kanye dropped the Ye project right after that. On the track No Mistakes, there are a few lines that many take to be a clap back at Drake. The song's final lyric, too rich to fight you, calm down, you light-skinned it. That definitely could be taken like it was a shot. It was mild. It was light. It was real light. So later that summer, in an interview on a Chicago station, WGCI, Kanye denied that he told Pusha T about Drake's kid. He denied that. In the Rolling Stone story, also in this summer, it was implied that Kanye may have heard Drizzy, "Yes, I Have a Son," March 14th before Pusha dropped the diss. It was definitely implied that Kanye was responsible for that. I mean, how else would he know? How else would he know? So Kanye, of course, doesn't want to take the what I call the Kobe label. You remember how Kobe had the label of being you know, a snitch in the locker room with Shaq? You remember that? Uh, Nobody wants that label. Nobody wants to be the guy that no one can talk around because he's going to run back and tell everybody the business. So, you know, it was 2018 and a lot going on. So, a snippet of an unreleased Drake and French Montana track leaked. In it, Drake is heard saying, "Keep it G. I told her I told her don't wear no 350s around me," obviously referring to the Kanye Yeezys 350 sneakers. That was a cool line. That was a cool line. The next day, Kanye fired off a series of early morning tweets apologizing to Drake, saying that he plans to see an upcoming show on Aubrey's current tour. West said at the Times is fall of 2018 or September 5th, 2018, that he was sorry for stepping on Drake's Scorpion release date. "I was a bit ramped up," he said, when planning the dates of the 5-week Good Music onslaught. You remember when there was these back-to-back Good Music releases from Kanye's artist, Kanye produced projects. He also said that he should have spoken to Pusha about dissing Drake on Infrared. "There should have been no songs with my involvement that had any negative energy towards you." He also explicitly denied talking to Pusha about Drake's son. 2018, and we're on the road of how we got where we are. In the winter 2018, and people were talking. I mean, Kanye was with Twitter. It was very similar to Trump with Twitter. It was just a lot of diarrhea of the mouth, and then you kind of had to, sift through things to get some real messages. Kanye sent out a barrage of tweets in December 2018 saying that he had received a clearance request for Drake to use "Say What's Real" in an unnamed new way. Some speculated it would be, or the So Far Gone was going to be coming to streaming services. The request that, I don't know, Ye um, says that it's fake like wrestling. Um, he posted, this, and it was something that said, "Do you want to clear this?" Right. And I guess he's referring to the fact that if we have so much beef, why are you asking to clear a song? That's what he said. So Drake sent a clearance request for "Say What's Real. Do you want to clear?" Yeah, Kanye has a habit of taking things to the public that shouldn't be there. And he quickly followed that tweet up with, I don't know, 12, 13, 14 tweets, almost all addressed to Drake directly. "Still need an apology for mentioning the 350s. That really hurt Kanye for some strange reason. And I say for some strange reason because, okay, yeah, somebody's saying they don't like the sneakers, or he didn't say he didn't like them. He just said, don't wear the sneakers around me. And I guess Kanye took that as a direct impact to his, you know, clothing brands. Trying to take food out of your idol's kid's mouth, he wrote. Well, that's that's a lot. I mean, come on. Been trying to meet with you for 6 months. You sneak dissing on Travis Scott records and texting Kris Jenner talking about how's the family. Kanye takes these things personally. And Drake is the type, I mean, he is on some, he is on some slick stuff sometimes. He repeated that claim that he was not responsible for Pusha T finding out about Drake's son. Also took shots at Drake for his August use of emojis. How dare you use emojis? This has been bothering me too long, he typed. Easy also criticized Drake for his reported role in the onstage brawl at the Pusha T show in Toronto. You remember that? Stop this already, bro. You getting people hurt out here. And over what? He said at the time. This is on Twitter. The other one. This one stood out the most. By the way, not cleared. Talking about the sample clearance. Okay, I'm sure that Drake got over that. Okay, you didn't clear the record. Big deal. Of course, on their recent albums, there's been some records that could be deemed as, disses. But this meeting, this reconciliation, this photo of these two megastars really has fans in celebration mode. And they should be in celebration mode. It's been one hell of a journey. Make some noise for Kanye and Drake. Make some noise for our reconciliation, Dave Chappelle said. He was on hand for the get together. And Jay Prince, who has really been a constant presence amid the push for Larry Hoover's freedom, but he's also was in attendance for the unquestionably massive moment for hip hop. Fans of both artists, of course, likely don't need a refresher. I wanted to talk about it because, it's just on my mind based on what we've seen. But fans of these artists, they know the history. They know the history. Ye is currently fresh off the release of a fleet of mass clones and, the Andre 3000 featuring deluxe edition of Donda. He made several mentions of Drake in the sequel, the part 2 of this Drink Champs interview. We may be getting this album. But I'm just happy that this has happened. I'm happy that these guys have reached this milestone. And hopefully this thing stays where it is. It gets the fans music that they want between artists that they love. Of course, you can follow the Diamond K Show on our Facebook page, anywhere that you get social media, the Diamond K Show. And the program is an On Fire television production. You can get us on demand, the WRF Radio app, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, YouTube.com/DJ Diamond K. And I said that earlier, and I have to go back to it. The Diamond K Show here, everyone is excited about the WRF Radio app. Take a moment to download WRF Radio app in your app store. Leave me a comment. You can scroll your timeline, attend a Zoom meeting on mute, do some online shopping, all while listening to the Diamond K Show. Of course, Flyers on Fire. Got to shout them out. If you need a flyer designed, quality digital flyer, head on over to Flyers on Fire on Instagram. If you're promoting something on social media, they can help you brand your message with a quality digital flyer. On Fire Television is an advertiser-supported audio and video network. You can get breaking news, podcasts, TV shows, all covering topics that are important to our culture. On Fire Television is where you discover, engage, and connect with the latest news, podcasts, and TV programs. You want to support the Diamond K Show? Very easy to do that. This digital network, we are here because of you. Head on over to onfiretelevision.com, grab a t-shirt, some other merch. You can become a sponsor of the Diamond K Show for as little as $50. I'm able to deliver our news and our views because of our listeners, sponsors. We are powered by the people and appreciate your support. I will be back later on today. Also going to be on the road. So, you're going to see some of that. I have music that is out anywhere you get music. Search the Diamond K Show. My latest project is called Bernice Avenue. I'm also going to be making an announcement this weekend about the upcoming project that is in the works. So stay tuned for that. Your man Diamond K. I will see you guys next time.